Picture this. Your fiancée asks for a break on Monday. By Friday, she's sobbing on your doorstep watching strangers load your furniture into moving trucks, while her father refuses to take her calls because of what you showed him. That's what happens when you try to play chess with someone who's already thinking 10 moves ahead. 11:47 p.m. Screenshots hit send to her father's phone. 6 a.m. Wedding planner gets the cancellation call. 2 p.m. For sale sign goes up. 4 p.m. Her bank access gets revoked. All because I discovered what her innocent break to clear our heads really meant. 4 days later, she's standing in my driveway crying, but the moving trucks are already pulling away. And she's about to learn that some games have permanent consequences. If you think you know how this revenge story ends, think again. Smash that like button and buckle up, because what I did next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about handling betrayal. My name's Dylan, and I should have seen the signs screaming at me for weeks. Mysterious texts that made her smile like she'd won the lottery. Suddenly needing girls' nights when we'd been joined at the hip for 3 years. Phone guarded like it contained nuclear launch codes. But when you're 3 months away from saying I do, when you've got a $40,000 wedding planned, when you're thinking about forever, you explain away the red flags. You tell yourself she's just stressed about seating charts and flower arrangements. Massive mistake, gentlemen. The kind that costs you everything. Drop a comment below if you've ever ignored obvious red flags because you were in love. Let's learn from each other's disasters. Mia and I had been together for 3 years, engaged for 8 months. Met at a downtown rooftop party, one of those rare instant connections that felt like the universe aligning. She was brilliant, stunning, ambitious. Everything I thought I wanted in a wife. We'd moved in together after 14 months, bought a house together after 2 years. Well, technically I bought it, put down the entire $80,000 down payment from my crypto gains during the 2020-21 bull run, but she helped with the mortgage and utilities. The plan was simple. Add her name to the deed after we became husband and wife. 3 months to go until the big day. Everything was locked in. Country club venue booked. Award-winning photographer secured. High-end wedding planner charging us $3,000 just to coordinate everything. We'd already spent $25,000 with another $15,000 to go before the ceremony. I'd covered about $32,000 of it from my digital marketing business profits. Mia had contributed around $8,000 from her salary. Her father, Richard, a traditional man who believed strongly in family values and had worked overtime for 2 years, had scraped together another $12,000 as his gift to us. Everything was perfect, until it absolutely wasn't. 2 weeks ago, we're having dinner at our granite kitchen island, prime rib and roasted vegetables, one of our usual Tuesday night meals. Mia puts down her fork, looks at me with this expression I couldn't read, and drops the nuclear bomb. "Dylan, I've been thinking," she says, voice steady as a surgeon delivering news. "Maybe we need to take a short break." I literally stopped mid-chew. A break? What the hell does that mean? Just some time apart to clear our heads before the wedding, make sure we're making the right decision. Like we're choosing a restaurant for dinner, not planning to spend our lives together. Is something wrong? Are you having second thoughts? I ask, my stomach already tightening into knots. No, she insists, shaking her head. I just think some space would be healthy. Wedding planning is so stressful, and we're both a bit on edge lately. I wasn't on edge. She was the one acting like she had a secret burning a hole in her chest. "How long of a break are we talking about?" I ask. "Just a week or 2. I can stay at my friend Ashley's apartment downtown." "And what exactly happens during this break? Are we still exclusive or—" She hesitated, just for a fraction of a second. But that fraction told me everything I needed to know. "Of course we're exclusive, Dylan. This isn't about seeing other people. It's about getting perspective." I didn't believe her. Not for a second. But I also didn't want to come across as controlling or insecure. So I swallowed my gut instinct, the one screaming that something was wrong, and said, "Sounds fair, if that's what you need." She looked relieved. Suspiciously, almost suspiciously relieved. hugged me tight, promised we'd be stronger for it, and went upstairs to pack an overnight bag. Gone within the hour, leaving me alone in our $450,000 house with my stomach churning and my mind racing. What I did next? I'm not proud of it, but I'm not sorry either. Couldn't sleep that night. Tossed and turned until 3 a.m., something gnawing at my gut like a trapped animal. So I got up and checked our shared iPad, the one she used for Pinterest wedding boards and vendor emails, synced to her iCloud account. I'd never snooped before, never felt the need to, but something about this sudden break felt orchestrated, planned, fake. 5 minutes. That's all it took to confirm my worst nightmare. There in her messages was a contact saved as Ashley PT, Ashley personal trainer. Except this sure as hell wasn't Ashley. This was Brett, her ex-boyfriend from college who'd moved back to town 2 months ago. If you're already feeling your blood pressure spike, wait until you hear what these messages said. Keep watching, this gets absolutely nuclear. The messages went back 8 weeks. 8 weeks of planning this betrayal behind my back while I was booking our honeymoon suite and tasting wedding cakes. Can't wait to have you all to myself again. Last night was absolutely incredible. I forgot how perfectly we fit together. Once this wedding charade is canceled, we can finally stop hiding and be together for real. My hands started shaking as I scrolled through dozens and dozens of messages. There were photos too, intimate ones that made my stomach drop to the basement. The most recent message was from 8 hours ago, right after she'd asked for her innocent break. Told him about the break idea. He bought it completely. You were so right. Guys are absolutely clueless when they're blinded by love. That last line? That's when something inside me switched from hurt to ice-cold calculation. The devastation transformed into pure, focused rage. Smash that like button if you think what I did next was pure genius, because I'm about to show you how to handle betrayal like an absolute champion. I took screenshots of everything. Every message that proved the affair. Every photo that wasn't too explicit, every single plan they'd made to use my money, my trust, and my love as stepping stones to their Hawaii vacation. Then I sat down at my home office desk and planned the most surgical counterattack of my life. 6 a.m. sharp. First call goes to Jennifer, our wedding planner. Jennifer, this is Dylan. We need to cancel everything. The venue, the photographer, the catering, the flowers, everything. I'll explain later, but I need you to start the refund process immediately. Since I was listed as the primary contact on 90% of the vendor contracts and it had made the vast majority of payments from my business account, I had full legal authority to cancel. Jennifer was professional, sympathetic, and got to work instantly. We can recover about $22,000 of the $25,000 you've spent, she said. Some deposits are non-refundable, but most vendors will work with us given the circumstances. 7:30 a.m. Second call goes to my business partner, Kevin, who also happens to flip houses. Kevin, I need to sell the house today. Like, get your realtor friend over here before noon today. Dylan, what the hell is going on? I'll explain everything later. Can you make this happen? Market's absolutely insane right now. We could probably get $75,000 over asking if we price it aggressively and stage it right. 8:45 a.m. Third call goes to my bank. I need to remove Mia Richardson as an authorized user from all my accounts. Transfer exactly $8,000, her wedding contribution, to a separate account. I want everything clean and documented. The banker walked me through the proper separation procedures. Everything done by the book, following the account agreements we'd both signed. But here's the move that really sealed the deal forever. 10:30 a.m. I sent those screenshots to Richard, Mia's father. Richard had always been good to me. He was old-fashioned, believed strongly in honesty and commitment, and had welcomed me into their family with open arms. The man who'd worked overtime for 2 years, saving every penny to contribute $12,000 to our wedding. Money that Mia and Brett were literally planning to spend on a post-wedding cancellation trip to Maui. Yes, they discussed this in their messages like it was already a done deal. This man deserved to know his daughter was about to waste that sacrifice on a vacation with her side piece. I didn't send the explicit photos, just the messages about their affair, their timeline, and their plans to use family money for their romantic getaway. The text I sent was simple. Richard, I'm heartbroken to share this with you, but you deserve to know the truth before more of your hard-earned money gets wasted. I'm so sorry. 12 p.m. Kevin's realtor friend Marcus arrives with a photographer and staging consultant. 2 p.m. For sale sign goes up in the front yard. 4 p.m. Mia's access to our joint accounts gets officially terminated. 6 p.m. First showing request comes in. All of this took exactly 8 hours. By that evening, my plan was in motion like a perfectly oiled machine. The house was officially listed with professional photos. The wedding was canceled with refunds processing. Richard had read every message but hadn't responded yet. Then I turned off my phone, poured myself a glass of bourbon, and waited for the fireworks to begin. If you're loving this strategic takedown, subscribe and ring that notification bell. We post alpha content like this every single week. 4 days passed, like scenes from a movie. I took time off work, citing a family emergency, and focused on packing my entire life into boxes. The house had been officially listed for exactly 72 hours, and we'd already received 9 showings and 3 offers, 2 of them above asking price. My business partner, Kevin, had been right about the market. The staging consultant worked magic, and Marcus priced it perfectly to create a bidding war. But while I was executing my perfect plan, I had no idea Mia was about to discover what I'd done, and her reaction would be more explosive than I ever imagined. Day 4, 7 p.m. exactly. The doorbell rings with that familiar chime. I knew who it would be before I opened the door. Mia stood on my porch looking absolutely destroyed. Eyes red and swollen from crying, mascara streaked down her cheeks. Looking like she hadn't slept or eaten in days. She looked past me at the towers of boxes stacked in the hallway, then at the bright red sold sign that had been planted that very morning. "What the hell is going on, Dylan?" she screamed, her voice cracking with desperation. "I think you know exactly what's going on," I replied, my voice calm as a frozen lake. "The break is working fantastic for me too. Really helped me get crystal clear perspective on what I want in life." Her face went sheet white. "You went through my phone?" "iPad, actually. You left it logged into your iCloud. Pretty sloppy operational security for someone running a double life." "Those messages aren't what you think." "Stop." I cut her off with the authority of someone who held all the cards. "I read everything, Mia. You and Brett, your 8-week affair, your plans to cancel our wedding after bleeding me and your father dry, your Hawaii vacation itinerary, all of it. Comment below if you think she deserved what came next, because this is where it gets absolutely devastating." She immediately switched tactics. The tears started flowing like a broken faucet. "I made a mistake, Dylan. A terrible, horrible mistake. But we can work through this. I love you, not him. We can go to counseling. We can—" "That's not what you told him 4 days ago when you were in his bed instead of planning our future together." Her face crumpled as reality started sinking in. "My dad won't even take my calls," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "He sent me one text, 'You're exactly like your mother,' then blocked my number." The irony was perfect. Her mother had had an affair years ago that damaged their family, and now she was following her mother's exact playbook. "I only sent him what was true," I said. "Your dad sacrificed for 2 years to give us $12,000 for a wedding you were planning to cancel. He deserved to know where his money was really going. You had no right to involve my family. I had every right to protect someone who's been nothing but loving and generous to both of us." She looked around desperately, finally processing the sold sign for the first time. "You're selling our house? You can't do that without my permission." "It's my house, Mia. My name on the deed, my down payment, my mortgage qualification. Remember? We were going to add your name after the wedding ceremony." The full weight of her situation hit her like a freight train. Where am I supposed to go? Brett kicked me out of his place when everything exploded. Ashley won't return my calls. I've been bouncing between hotels for 3 days. Sounds like Brett showed his true colors pretty quickly, almost like he was just using you for sex and had no intention of a real relationship. That one landed like a sledgehammer. "Can I at least come inside and get my belongings?" "Already packed everything for you," I told her. It's all boxed up in the garage. There's also an envelope with a cashier's check for $8,000, your exact wedding contribution. You won't see a penny from the house sale. You're really doing this? Throwing away 3 years over one mistake? It wasn't one mistake, Mia. It was hundreds of calculated decisions. Every single day, for 8 weeks, you chose to lie to me, to plan with him, to laugh about how stupid and clueless I was for trusting you. She had absolutely nothing to say to that. The truth hung in the air like a guillotine blade. I'll help you load everything into your car, I offered. Not out of kindness. I wanted this chapter of my life closed forever. 4 trips to get everything into her BMW. We worked in complete silence, the weight of her betrayal and my cold justice hanging between us like a wall. As she prepared to drive away forever, she tried one final desperate play. I really did love you, Dylan. I know you don't believe me, but I did. I looked at her. This woman I'd planned to spend my entire life with, and felt nothing but cold satisfaction and complete closure. No, you didn't. But that's perfectly fine. I'll find someone who knows the difference between love and convenience. She drove away sobbing, and I went back inside to my half-empty house, feeling lighter than I had in months. The next month was a blur of victories that felt like divine justice. House sold for exactly $75,000 over asking price, the fastest sale in our neighborhood's recorded history. Turns out, desperate buyers plus perfect staging plus aggressive pricing equals maximum profit. Wedding refunds totaled $22,000. Combined with what I'd recovered from our joint accounts, I had more than enough to return Richard's full $12,000 contribution and still come out significantly ahead financially. Richard and I met for lunch when I handed him the check. He was emotional but grateful. "You're a good man, Dylan," he said, his voice heavy with disappointment in his daughter. "I'm sorry Mia couldn't appreciate what she had." "Some people don't know what they have until it's permanently gone," I replied. "She's moved back home temporarily," Richard admitted. "Had to take leave from her job. She's struggling with the consequences." "I'm genuinely sorry to hear that," I said, and I meant it. I didn't wish her ongoing pain, I just refused to be the one responsible for fixing it. Through our mutual friends, I heard updates. Brett had completely ghosted her the moment the scandal broke and her family got involved. Their entire friend group had mostly sided with me, leaving her pretty socially isolated. As for me, I was absolutely thriving in ways I never expected. Bought a modern downtown loft with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Better commute to my business, premium gym membership, incredible nightlife right outside my door. Started hitting the gym with intensity I'd forgotten I had. Picked up rock climbing, reconnected with old friends I'd neglected during the relationship fog. The business absolutely exploded. Without the constant stress of wedding planning and relationship drama, I could focus completely on growing my digital marketing agency. Landed 4 major clients in 2 months and increased revenue by 60%. 8 months later, I was making significantly more money, in the best physical shape of my life, and genuinely happy for the first time in years. Started dating again around month 5. Casual at first, then more seriously when I met the right person. Her name is Zoe, and she's everything Mia wasn't. Direct, honest, emotionally secure, financially independent. She knows my complete history, but doesn't treat me like damaged goods. "You dodged a nuclear missile," she said after I told her the whole story. Anyone capable of that level of calculated deception isn't relationship material. We've been together 10 months now, taking things deliberately slow, but it feels right in a way my relationship with Mia never did. Built on actual trust instead of wedding planning excitement. The most unexpected development came 2 months ago. I received a handwritten letter from Mia, not a text or email or DM, an actual letter on stationery. It was a genuine apology. No excuses, no manipulation, no pleas for reconciliation. Just honest acknowledgement of the damage she'd caused and lessons she'd learned in therapy. "I didn't understand what real love actually looked like back then," she wrote. "I think I'm finally starting to understand now. You deserved so much better than what I gave you, and I'm truly sorry for wasting years of your life." I didn't respond. Not out of cruelty, but because there was literally nothing left to say. Her apology was for her healing process, not mine, and that's completely fine. Looking back on that night, Finding those messages, planning my response, setting everything in motion with surgical precision, I know beyond any doubt that I did the right thing. Not perfectly, maybe, but absolutely rightly. There's tremendous power in refusing to be a victim of someone else's choices, in taking complete control of your own story when someone tries to write you out of it. That sold sign she saw when she came crying back wasn't just about real estate. It was a declaration that I valued myself enough to walk away from someone who fundamentally didn't value me. That's a lesson worth learning, however painful the teaching process. 1 year later, I can honestly say I'm grateful. Not for the betrayal itself, but for the absolute clarity it brought to my life. Sometimes the worst moments redirect us exactly where we need to be. The woman who asked for a break to clear her head actually gave me something infinitely better. She cleared the path to my real future. Smash that like button if this story inspired you to never accept less than you deserve. Subscribe for more stories about men who refuse to be doormats. And drop a comment below sharing your own story. This community supports each other through everything. Remember, when someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. And when they ask for a break, give them a permanent one. See you in the next video, Kings. Keep your standards high and your backbone absolutely unbreakable.